foundation of ethical business and professional practice. A moral compass in an era accustomed to this. It challenges us to ask questions that matter deeply. Questions such as, how should organizations treat people? How should leaders behave when rewards tempt them to abandon principles? How do organizational cultures shape daily choices? Today, I want to address these questions not in abstract. Let me establish a theoretical framework for this keynote address. This keynote address is anchored in Aristotelian virtue ethics, the ethical tradition which teaches that lasting moral excellence is not produced merely by rules, policies, or compliance checks, but by the formation of character. From this standpoint, an organization is not simply a structure of productivity. It is a moral environment, a space that quietly but powerfully shapes what people become over time, where integrity is honored, fairness is practiced, and accountability is enforced. Virtue is cultivated, but where compromise is rewarded and wrongdoing is excused, even good people are gradually trained into moral silence. Virtue ethics, therefore, directs our attention to the heart of organizational life. Is built when leaders recognize their responsibility as architects. Leaders whose decisions, priorities, and conduct communicate what is truly valued. In this, ethical leadership is not a public performance. It is a daily discipline demonstrated through consistency, transparency, and the courage to uphold standards even when inconvenient. Ultimately, virtue ethics affirms that progress and sustainability are impossible without moral coherence. Trust is not manufactured by slogans. It is earned through repeated acts of honesty, justice, and responsibility. And because culture is sustained by what is repeatedly practiced, the ethical organization is the one that intentionally forms virtues into people and embeds them into its system until integrity becomes not an occasional choice, but the organization's enduring way of life. Let me tell you a personal beginning. Why ethics matters to me, as I mentioned earlier. As a professor of philosophy, I've engaged ethics as an academic discipline. Yet, the true test of ethical thought happens in organizational life, in real decisions, in leadership dilemmas, in pressures that reward success over integrity. Ethics gets tested not only in classrooms, but in boardrooms, in workplaces, and in moments where values must translate into actions. I will never forget a matter that came up. I discovered that some of our colleagues were collecting money from students to pass them. And given the background to where I took it upon myself to address the situation, reporting the matter to higher authorities. Well, let me say not higher authorities, senior colleagues. Not knowing that it was already a clique. Because the junior colleagues were collecting money on behalf of the senior colleagues. At a meeting where I was supposed to present my evidence, the whole thing was turned on my head. And ever since then, while I vowed that I will continue to fight corruption in everywhere I could, I decided that I must be very strategic about it. And this almost actually cost me my job. And so, because of this, I will never forget a conversation that I had with a younger colleague who had a similar experience. When he asked me, why does integrity cost me my job? That question reflects emotions. But let me bring this closer to reality with specific cases from Nigerian workplaces to global corporations. Culture broke down with far-reaching consequences. I want to provide some concrete examples of unethical behaviors and cultures. And this is important, especially for our younger ones that are coming up. That's why I'm particularly happy that secondary school students have been invited to witness this so that they can understand what the ethical culture is. Across Nigerian public and private organizations, reports consistently show entrenched unethical behaviors tied to corruption, weak accountability, and short-term gains. Studies of organizational culture note how leaders and employees engage in bribery, fraud, resource misappropriation, and contract manipulation to benefit personal interests at the expense of organizational and public trust. For example, surveys and interviews with organization leaders in Nigeria reveal how pressures to secure government contracts can push leaders toward unethical demands for bribes or compromise integrity out of competitive pressures. One leader recounted refusing to pay kickbacks and losing contract renewal as a result. Another documented issue involves falsification or mismanagement of resources at institutional agencies. At an agency that is to administer drugs and control in Nigeria, whistleblowers have alleged internal bribery and misappropriation of funds, and even disputes over accreditation of products that undermine public confidence. Moreover, historical corporate misconduct has been linked to financial malpractices. Past cases involving Nigerian banks and businesses where executives engaged in fraudulent accounting or unethical financial decisions contributed to institutional collapse and loss of stakeholder trust. These patterns illustrate how cultural influences, inadequate accountability, and lack of consequences can entrench unethical practices that affect not only organizations but public trust at large. Let me widen the lens to the global stage. An example that I will cite is in Brazil that is called Operation Car Wash, Lava Jato. This is one of the most extensive corruption investigations in modern history. Operation Lava Jato exposed how state oil company Petrobras and associated corruption firms systematically paid bribes to government officials and executives in exchange for inflated contracts and kickbacks. The scandal had political and economic repercussions across Brazil and neighboring countries, eroding trust in institutions and shaking markets for years. We can also talk about Olympus accounting fraud in Japan. In 2011, Japanese optical firm Olympus Corporation hid over $1.5 billion US dollars in losses through decades-long accounting manipulation. Despite repeated internal concerns, the culture prioritized secrecy and loyalty over transparency. The scandal erased up to 80% of the company's market value and led to criminal charges and major leadership reorganization. We also have the News International phone hacking scandal in the United Kingdom. In this high-profile media ethics failure, investigators found widespread illegal acquisition of private information in phone hacking, bribery of officials, and unethical surveillance conducted by journalists and private investigators. It resulted in public outrage, legal consequences, and the closure of a major UK outlet. The difference between ethics and ethical culture. These examples illustrate a painful but powerful truth. Unethical behavior is often not about isolated bad apples, but about organizational cultures that normalize compromise, reinforce incentives that ignore morality, and fail to protect those who speak up. Policies, mission statements, and codes of conduct mean little unless they are embedded in everyday organizational life. Ethical culture is what happens when the day-to-day choices of employees, leaders, and stakeholders reflect consistent values, not occasional ideals. Why ethical culture is essential for progress and sustainability? When ethical culture breaks down, trust collapses, internal morale erodes, reputation suffers, long-term sustainability is jeopardized. As we have seen in global and the local cases examples that I've cited, when organizations allow unethical behaviors to flourish unchecked, they not only damage institutions, they hurt communities, economies, and human dignity. Let me cite examples as well of unethical behavior in workplaces. They include, but not limited to, corruption and bribery. This is when we solicit or we pay improper incentive to secure contracts. Falsification of accounts or performance data. This is misleading stakeholders and concealing losses. Manipulation or misuse of regulatory systems. This is when we undermine accreditation or compliance through influence. Then we have workplace defiance, such as fraud, harassment, discrimination, and misuse of company resources. This is when there is the undermining safety, equal opportunity, and trust. These complete harms show that unethical culture is not harmless. It costs financially, socially, and morally. Now, how do we transform this reality? Ethical culture is built from the top down and the inside out. Ethical leadership that models integrity means that leaders must do what they say. Values translated into systems. When we're hiring, when we're evaluating, when there is reward and consequences, we must also have consistent accountability to show that no one is above ethical standards. We must have safe channels for reporting wrongdoing. It means that there must be protection of whistleblowers and encouraging truth-telling. We must have continuous ethics training. We must show real-world scenarios, not just annual ceremonies. They're rewarding ethical conduct by encouraging honesty, transparency, and courage. These pillars are not ideals. They are practical investment in an organization's longevity and trustworthiness. As professionals, we must carry ethical commitment, not as an optional marker of distinction, but as a daily personal vow. Even in imperfect systems, individual moral agency matters. Your qualifications grant competence, your character grants credibility. Now let us talk about the message of Rotary. Ethics as service to humanity. Rotary's mission to serve depends on integrity. In a world where so many ask, how much can I gain? Rotary stands firm in asking, how much good can I do? Service without ethical grounding becomes exploitation. Progress without integrity becomes fragility. Your presence here, therefore, reflects a deeper commitment to build trust in organizations, to protect the dignity of work, and to elevate moral choices in professional life. Distinguished guests, as I draw close to the end of this keynote address, let me say that when history looks back on our time, it will not only note how much we produced, but how honestly we produced it. Integrity does not merely add to success, it defines it. The greatest tragedy is not failure, but success without integrity. I implore us, let us build ethical culture deliberately, transforming organizational values into lived norms, aspirations into practice, and promises into trust. And now, as we transition to the next phase of this seminar, I invite our esteemed panel of discussants who will explore the topic ethical leadership, a moral currency for business practices and personal integrity, to approach this topic with the gravity it deserves. This is not merely an academic exercise, but a discourse that can shape professional standards, organizational behavior, and cultural expectations across sectors. May your insights deepen our understanding, challenge our assumptions, and inspire action that cements ethical leadership as not just an organizational principle, but a moral imperative. Thank you for your attention.
May we have a round of applause for our keynote speaker today. It's not every day that we get this caliber of address from our speakers. We want to thank you so much, sir. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, could we please give him another round of applause? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, sir. So, at this point, I'm here that there's too much ethics in the room. It's lighten it up a bit. How far does that take my voice? So we'll take a little bit of music just to calm down, our nerves. And thereafter, there will be a few awards to be given out to some of our guests who unfortunately have to leave early because they have other engagements. So just permit us for the next couple of minutes, just take a little music so we can find our feet. Mr. DJ, I hope you heard me. Oh, he wasn't even listening. So we'll take some music now, and then just for 2 minutes, then we can proceed. Thank you so much. Thank you. DGN is here with us, Rotarian Uyi Showobi. You're welcome. Good to see you as always. So just another few seconds of music, and then I will invite someone in to address us. Okay, let's just roll then. Leave out the music. May I at this point invite a member of the SAA committee. I hear that it's a special fundraising committee at the district. That's a new one, and I must say that that initiative is quite innovative. Thank you so much. I will invite my fellow Rotarian here to come forward and address us. I'm sure the essence of being an SAA and try to see what you can do with fundraising. Okay? Thank you. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much. A very good morning to everyone. By way of introduction, I'm Rotarian Past President Emeka Eze, the District Committee Chair for SAA. And that makes me the sheriff in town. I want to say a big thank you to this committee and to the organizers, beautifully arranged. And on behalf of the SAA committee, we want to appreciate everyone here for the decorum and for keeping to Rotary standards in staying quiet and attentive to discussants. My district governor, past district governors, district leaders here, past presidents, fellow Rotarians, school students and guests were all welcome to this beautiful event. It's ethics, 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 and part of what we as SAA committee promotes is discipline, ethics, and good behavior as Rotarians who are very respected people in society. Did I especially recognize the discussants? Super impressed with their CVs. I see past President Olori Benita, thank you very much for coming, and every other person, Professor, and of course other discussants. I'm not very good at raising funds, but I will try my best. I'm a man of few words. I'm a very shy person. This part of this event will be divided into two parts. One will be addressing crimes committed, and the other will be making appeals to persons to support the committee with a small fundraise. May I invite a member of the subcommittee responsible for the fundraise? Please, can you join me here? Someone with the ethics committee responsible for the fundraise, please join me here with the small little pledge, the forms. Please just join me very quickly. And please, may I also have other members of the district SAA committee, please come forward. My two members here with me, the two other officers on duty. We need to go around and look at Rotarians. Are we really standing for who we are? At club meetings is arguably the easiest way to... My DGN, so nice to see you, man. Thank you, man. And so please, one of the major things that two easiest ways for SAAs to make funds at the club level, just 5 minutes, yes. While we listen to the subcommittee for the pledges, please, you may want to quickly go around with pen and paper. Rotarians not looking at Rotarians, probably the dressing not complete, or the pin not there. If it's a serving president, the rate is times 10. If it's a past president, it's times 20. Sorry. And so on. So please, we have 5 minutes to carry out this task. Members of the subcommittee, please share this little forms. Please, no matter what you do in Rotary, no matter how you put it, every little penny you support a Rotary project or program with, some way, somehow, you push service to humanity a step further. So please, 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 if they tell you no, just go away from them and come back to them again. Their minds may have changed. It's just a little token to support the committee. And then for those that we need to, in quotes, but with a sense of humor, penalize. Committee members, please let us know as well, very quickly. My 5 minutes is fast spent. The account details, in case you want to make a transfer, will be on the screen. We can have that now very quickly, there's no time. For the benefit of those of you who do not know, when I said crime, that was an enlightenment. For those that are Rotarians, I'm sure they understand what it means. One part we've all gotten correctly is the fact that that's a man who's going to give us quite a lot. Please just stay here, don't go anywhere. If you can get just him, you've gotten all that we need. Stay somewhere around here. Thank you. Very quickly. Is anybody talking to him? There's nobody like this in Rotary. Can someone take it very personal? Rotary Sandra, please spend more of your time here until something is written down. That's P.P. Austin, for those who do not know. A man who supports anything Rotary. Even if you call it a coup, once it's Rotary. That's P.P. Austin. Is members of the committee there? Very quickly, please have 5 minutes. The forms, please. Please. Yes, P.P. Austin is here. Aha! The one reason why you should get one. Please, very quickly, please. Rotarian, please. The account number is on the screen. Please, that's a serving president you're looking at. Spend all your time there. Come on there. No, that's a man of capacity there, yes. Spend time, have a conversation with him. He would support. I trust him. I trust him a lot. Let's do this very quickly, very quickly. Is anybody there? Please come. You undermine people of high caliber. A very good morning to you, the President. He's very temperamental. If you don't come to him when you should, he loses his temper. Don't worry, he will write money. And don't worry, all I tell you, I show you somebody, you rest assured, I know what I'm doing. This is one person, despite the fact that he's serving at the district level, he loves to support good projects. That is the personal assistant the special assistant to the DG. He loves to support good projects. I would never lie. So just don't listen to anything he says. He will write and he'll give it back to you, okay? Thank you. That's 1 minute more, and we're good to go. Sir, thank you very much for all that you plan to do with that sheet of paper. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. All right, please, SAAs. Anybody with a crime committed? Everybody here is good? There are pins from Rotarians, well dressed. Thank you, sir. We were too impressed by the decorum, the quietness, the dress, so we're happy. So just support us. Thank you very much. So that will continue as the event continues. I want to use this medium to appeal to every club. Please ensure you have an elected SAA, and always from time to time support the activities of the District Committee SAA. We're trying to bring in a new system, probably supported and encouraged by our district governor, where we want to ensure that the things we take for granted we now take seriously. Quietness at meetings, decorum during our deliberations, and every other thing that portrays us for who we are. Thank you for supporting.
And thank you for coming
on as the event proceeds. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, sir.
And thank you for coming.
We appreciate it.
You won't be this lucky next time. Because I gave you just 10 minutes and you took 15. So please, a round of applause for him. This whole effort would not have been possible without funding, which is the reason we have given him so much time. Thank you so much. I said earlier that some of our very key dignitaries will be leaving the room very soon. For that reason, I'd like to crave your indulgence that we recognize them, give them their award plaques at this point. Just 4 of them. We'll give them their award plaques so that we can get to the business of the day. And just a quick reminder that will involve a team of panelists who will be coming up here to discuss our topic for the day. But for now, may I invite Winnie the winner, Winnie the VA, who is helping out with coordinating this event. Please give a round of applause. Winnie, you're welcome. Please, over to you.
Thank you very much, my boss, my public image boss and mentor. Without further ado, we're moving swiftly now to presentation of awards. And we would just want to reiterate that ethics is not an event. It is commitment, it's a daily commitment to hold ethical standards and practice in our business and professions. And the keynote speaker, Professor Hussaini Taiwo Afisi, you indeed took us on a journey. Please, can we give him a resounding round of applause one more time? And I've got to bring your daughter to take 10 steps forward. We have a little presentation for you. May I also respectfully invite the Pasco Street Governor, Kamaru Omotosho, to the podium for this presentation. Just to let you know, may I also respectfully invite the DG, because the DG has to lead this while the PDG is also here. May I respectfully invite our DG, sir, to yes. For those who are wondering who Professor Hussaini is, quickly an abridged version of his profile, because it is indeed the lecturer. A scholar of international repute, Professor Afisi has authorized and co-authored over 60 peer-reviewed articles and over 20 book chapters. I thought that would get to the post. I just also let you know, in recognition of his outstanding contributions, he's received numerous awards, including Forward Institutional-Based Research Grants, Hannah Arendt Humanities Network Awards, Teaching Excellence Awards, International Conference Grant from UNESCO, Cal Potter Foundation Honors, ranking by a Scientific Hate Index ranking, as number 11 among philosophers in my and number 1 in Lagos State University's philosophy department. He exemplifies the values of integrity, efficiency, performance, and vision that defines Nigeria's drive towards excellence. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Professor Hussaini Taiwo Afisi, the keynote speaker for today, as he receives the special recognition and award from District 9012 Ethics Committee Seminar. Please, can we give him a better round of applause with a standing ovation? I think he deserves that. Thank you so much, Professor, for your valuable contribution. Thank you.
Please be seated. Please be seated. Thank you. While Professor Afisi was speaking, I sat quietly and patiently to listen to him. I didn't even know that we would later engage in a discussion that will stimulate him to be one of us. But let's just think that Professor Afisi, we have been enriched by your wealth of experience, by your expertise, by the knowledge that you have shared with us freely this morning. And it is something that we will continue to cherish for a long time. And on behalf of Rotary International District 9112, it is my honor and privilege to present this appreciation award to Professor Hussaini Taiwo Afisi. Please let's give him a round of applause. A grateful recognition of your distinguished service as the keynote speaker at the Ethics in Business and Professions Committee Seminar, which theme is Building Trust and Integrity, Foundation of Ethical Business and Professional Practice. And it is given today, Wednesday, the 20th day of January 2026. The award has been duly signed by me as together. Prof, we can't thank you enough for creating time to be here. We can't thank you enough for the knowledge that you have disseminated. We can't thank you enough for the time that you have taken to be among us. Thank you very much.
very much. A round of applause for our keynote speaker, Professor Afisi. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. My DG, could we just crave your indulgence? Could you just remain there while we invite the next? Okay, you're free to.
All right, thank you so much. I just want to say thank you to Rotary Club District 9112 for the award, and it is my hope that the topic of today, which is very topical, by the way, and quite important for the social, economic, and political well-being of this country, will resonate well with all of us that are here, especially the younger ones. I'm not going to be able to stay for too long because of my schedules, but I just want to wish everyone, especially the panels that are coming next, a beautiful and resounding session. Thank you so much.
Congratulations and thank you very much, Professor. Next, we all know that without ethics, trust erodes, and without trust, our institutions fail. And just because Rotary believes in balance, just as a professor has been recognized, we are now going to an institution that is at the forefront of upholding sanity across our roads. We know that Lagos is a very peculiar state, very distinguished. Ladies and gentlemen, next recipient is a law enforcement officer, traffic, Onabanjo Oluwadamilola Mercy, a traffic controller. Please step forward. Please put your hands together. A LASMA official. I don't know if you like LASMA or not. Do you love LASMA? Well, it's expected. If you'll be held by LASMA, I'm sure. Well, just to let you know that this presentation is a recognition of this law enforcement officer's commitment and dedication to exemplary service, and her conduct, professionalism, and commitment to public service have consistently reflected the highest standards of integrity and excellence. I'm sure Professor Onabanjo is not one to jump into your car and demand for a bribe, else she would be a recipient of this. She is a graduate of English and Social Studies from the Adeniran Ogunsoraya College of Education, Lagos State, and has rendered 8 years of meritorious service within LASMA. Throughout her service, she has distinguished herself through discipline, ethical conduct, and unwavering dedication to duty, contributing meaningfully to traffic management, public safety, and road user education across Lagos State. Beyond her official duties, Officer Onabanjo has exemplified balance and responsibility as a devoted wife and mother of 2 children, successfully managing her career and her family life. Her service has earned her several notable recognitions, including the Rotary District 9110 Maryland Vocational Service Award in 2022, the Rotary Club of Lagos Exceptional Service Award in 2024, and the LASMA Award of Excellence as the Best Performing Female Traffic Officer in 2025. I think women, we need to show her some love. She stands as a model of dedication and professionalism and service, and has brought honor to LASMA's service, and has served as an inspiration to her colleagues and a wider audience. Very distinguished, ladies and gentlemen, please help me make her feel special today as she receives this award and recognition. Thank you very much.
Before I present this award, let me ask, do you think stay with LASMA in Lagos or not? That answer is, do you? Yes, Lagos is working, and this is one of the Lagos State government staff that makes Lagos work the way we want it to work. Please let's do that. You see, January is the vocational service month, yes, and there is dignity in labor. when you see some of the last man staff, not all of them are on the road. Some of them are in their offices, which are in various parts of Lagos State. When you see them working with efficiency, with commitment, with diligence, and you ask yourself, what if I am in their condition? What would I do? Or what would I have done? And in our organization, we place high premium on recognitions. As we do to ourselves, we do to others. So, I'm not surprised from the resume of the awardee that she has indeed been a good example of how you will be a government worker. I thought that you have not asked that. So, it is my pleasure to formally present this Ethics Excellence Award to Mrs. Oluwadamilola Mercy. You can see her name, she's very merciful when I'm teaching. Onabanjo, for consistently demonstrating the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and accountability in your professional practice. The theme of this seminar is Building Trust and Integrity, the Foundation of Excellence. If we all remember, Lagos is the center of excellence. And this award is given today, Wednesday, 28th day of January 2026, and it has been duly signed by me as the district governor and by the chairman of the committee that has put this seminar together, past President Nkiru Akara. I want to say a big congratulations to you, because out of so many, few have chosen, and you are one of the few that has been chosen because of your commitment, because of your dedication, and because of the integrity that you have. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is the first category of presentation award. We move over now to the second category.
Maybe before we do that, Winnie, I just want to quickly announce that if you are the owner of the gold Toyota Camry MUS 295GE, kindly go and move your car. MUS 295GE, gold Toyota Camry. Maybe Winnie, over to you.
This category is presented to very reputable and distinguished men of honor. Men who have served with their profession, their time, their talent, their resources in Rotary. Because while it's important to recognize and appreciate outsiders, how about we looking inwards to see the valuable contributions of men that have stood out through the years, consistently giving of themselves wholeheartedly to the betterment of humanity. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is, my PDGs are, please can you take your seats? My PDGs are, please can you take your seats? Thank you very much. Thank you. The recipient of this category of excellence is none other than the immediate past district governor of District 9111, Dr. Oluwale Kukori. Can we please give him a round of applause? I believe he's not here. But can we please announce or invite the DGE of District 9111, that is Rotera Bukola Bakari, who is here. Please, the ushers, can we please have her luggage moved to the aisle? Please. Okay. She will be receiving this recognition and award on behalf of District 9111, IPDG Oluwale Kukori, who was born in in Ijebu, Ogwe, on 6th of October 1955. And his education spans Mulusi College in Ijebu, finishing in 1973. He moved on to his medical training at the University of Ibadan Medical School, where he graduated in 1980. And he went on to get the Olatunde Odeku Prize for the best student in neurosurgery and ultrasound training at King's College Hospital, London. His professional activities is he served as chairman of Nigerian Medical Association, Ogun State Branch, in 2008. And he goes on and on. His work experience spans years of service, but for want of time and in absentia, would like to just have it here while the DGE will receive this honor on his behalf. Thank you.
Thank you. No doubt, immediate past District Governor Oluwole Kukoyi deserves this award. And being represented by the District Governor-elect of District 91 of Devon attests to the fact that he's a man of the people. I would want to call on past District Governor Kamoru Omotosho to please present this award on behalf of the district.
This award I'm quite happy to present because Wole Kukoyi is a person I admire a lot. And for those of us in the medical circle, it's an epitome of hard work and transparency. So on behalf of the district governor and the entire Nigerian 911, I present the Corolla transition to Wole Kukoyi. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. A well-deserved award. Thank you. We also want to thank the district governor-elect for accepting this on his behalf. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And now, this one excites me and it makes me, I don't know how I'm going to control the emotions, but it is personal. So please pardon and forgive me in advance. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to the stage a man who epitomizes excellence, humility, and service. A man who inspires day in, day out. A man who leads by example, a father, a mentor, and a man that is loved. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, inviting PDG Kamoru Omotosho. If you are a member of Rotary Club of Ikoyi, I think you have to be upstanding alongside all Rotarians, because this is special. To be accompanied by his spouse, A.G. Uzo Amaka Eguna. Just to let you know that this is a man of discipline. You can have your seats. Thank you very much. District Governor-elect in 2011 to 2012. He served as District Governor nominee in 2010 to 2011. Chairman RI Convention. He served as a Chairman Study Exchange. He served as Chairman Group Study Exchange. He served as Chairman RI Convention Committee. He served as Assistant Governor. He has served as Chairman Jaipur Lane Committee. And he has served as President of the Rotary Club of Ikoyi. A major donor of the Rotary Club of Ikoyi. He served as a president, and he's a strong pillar of this club, and a recipient of several district recognition for his selfless service to mankind. You can clap better. Now, I'm sure you're thinking he was born in 1960, but just to put you bubble, he was born June 26, 1947. Yet still serves, yet still shows up, yet still there, day in, day out, week in, week out, giving up his time. From his professional life, he's worked as a general surgical registrar in several surgical specialties at General Hospital, Middlesbrough, United Kingdom, before passing his final fellowship of the Royal College of Surgeons of England in May 1981. He's worked at Freeman Hospital, Newcastle. Upon that, he moved over to Birmingham, United Kingdom, and returned to Nigeria in
Members of Rotary Club
1983.
of Ikoyi are showing up behind their boss.
Yes, as he should.
If we have any members from the Rotary Club of Ikoyi, and that includes me, please show up now in time. This is Mr. Timeliness.
And now, I think I will stop here and just give honor to the man of the moment as he receives his award, just like a general. You would salute and honor this man of great repute. Please, with a standing ovation, help us celebrate past district governor, Tomorrow Omotosho, a man of service, a man of dignity, a man of honor, a man of dedication, and a man who has consistently given to the service of humanity and mankind. We celebrate you on the day. Thank you, Master Bishop.
Thank you. Dr. Thank you. Please be seated. Well, if you are a leader, you should have followers. And what this has showed this morning is that past district governors and all of us, and you can see members of this club solidly behind you. You will think that members of other clubs who are here are not accompanied by their club members. And I'm happy to be part of this. Indeed, the gentleman, the Rotarian, the past district governor that is the recipient of this award was the district governor when I was the district secretary about 13 years ago. And he's known for discipline, integrity, honesty, accountability, and if you want to be his friend in the real sense of the word, you must be time conscious. Those who were active Rotarians in those days will tell you that once he says a program will start at 10, it will start at 10, not 10 for 10:30 as some of us will say. It's 10, and he's known for that, and he has stood by that. And that is part of this one vital virtue that I also took from him, that whatever programs we are doing at the district, once I say it's 10, I'm here before 10 to flag it up. And so, it is my honor to be part of this process. Let me call on our district governor nominee, who is ready to come and present this award to our revered past district governor, Tomorrow Omotosho. Please let's give another round of applause.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I don't have to add to what Nigeria said, but we all know who this man is. And so on behalf of the district governor, Mr. 9112, and the ethics committee, I want to present this ethics excellence award to you, my past district governor. Tomorrow, I want to show for your consistency, demonstrating the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and accountability in your professional practice. So for today, 28th January 2026, I present this award to you, duly signed by the district governor and the committee chair. Congratulations.
very much. Thank you. We give him a round of applause.
Well deserved. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Nobody singing? And so say all of us. Thank you. You wait for your turn and serve. Okay, moving on, I'll pass the baton back to the leader or the boss of today. I only came here to assist and support.
Yes, thank you, Winnie. But please don't leave. Don't go away, Winnie. Thank you. At this point, I would like to quickly recognize a very important guest in our midst. He is, in fact, someone who has supported our committee chair at home, in the office, and everywhere she's been. We will always recognize the presence of our committee chair's husband, Pastor Balo. I'm sure he sits in the back somewhere. Okay.
Please, I think we can do better than this.
I'm surprised that you're sitting in front.
Please, sir, can you take 10 steps forward, please? We celebrate you, we honor you, we appreciate you for yielding, allowing, because if you didn't give the permission to your spouse, she cannot function.
Yes.
We always celebrate our Rotary and they are special.
Yes.
Thank you for allowing her soar and fly. Thank you as always. Thank you.
And please, maybe our DG will convince him to join Rotary now. He always says to us that he has already donated his wife to Rotary, that he doesn't need to join. But maybe we will change his mind today. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks so much for coming. So, yes, you may want to think that we're losing time, but I promise you that that's not the case. At this point, we will dive deep into the main matter for today. And that, like I said earlier, will be the discussion, the panel of discussion. And the discussants will be called up to the stage at this moment. I'm sure that most of us, if not all of us, have little notebooks in our packages. Kindly bring them out with your pens because you may need to take notes. I am going to, in a minute, call the moderator to come up and take over this segment of the program. But I would appeal to you that please let us reduce the level of distractions. Please, minimal movement around the room. We have all our panelists in the hall, and I would want us to please welcome warmly a gentleman who is quite used to doing this sort of thing, that is pricing out information and key points from people who know a little more or better than others. Could we all please invite this gentleman? He is a fellow Rotarian from the Rotary Club of Ikoyi Metropolitan. He is a real estate developer and he has interests in reading, mentorship, football, and he has in brackets here Arsenal. Why Arsenal? So he's a fan of Arsenal. My sympathy, condolences for your loss a few days ago. And of course, he enjoys traveling. Could we put our hands together for Rotarian Dr. Oladimeji Olatunji Audu, who will be the moderator of this segment of the program. Let us welcome him. And I look forward to a lot this afternoon. So you're welcome, sir. Another round of applause for him. So, Dr. Oladimeji Audu, it's over to you now. You will let us know what this is all about, and you will call your panel of discussants. If we have our programs, you can follow in with it. The profiles of the discussants, the panelists, are all stated here. Over to you, sir.
District governors, leaders of Rotary here present, friends and guests of Rotary, Committee Chair of Ethics Committee, distinguished guests and friends of Rotary Club here present. It's my pleasure to be here and also to serve as moderator of this session. We will be discussing ethical leadership, a moral currency for business and business practices and personal integrity. That's the topic. On the panel, we have about 5 discussants that will be rubbing minds. I will just be like guiding in terms of asking questions and for them to shed more light on the topics and other conversations that we have. First on my list is Olori Agboge, sorry. Olori Agboge attended Flower High School, Osborne. She went to earn a degree in public and private law from University of Port Harcourt, obtained a degree in computer science from Ambrose Ali University, Masters of Law from University of Benin, and PhD from University of Lagos. Also on the panel is Also on the panel is Chidima Abikalo. I'm sorry for pronouncing your name. Not pronouncing your name correctly.
Please don't move it. Please, I beg you.
Actually, shy and family couples, relationship therapists, a mental health trainers, counselor of over 13 years experience supporting individuals and family towards emotional well-being. She helps them navigate challenges, strength, connection, foster healthier communication, build resilience, gain clarity, and create meaningful and lasting change. Also on the panel, we have Engineer Christopher Markolo. Engineer Markolo is an accomplished engineer and ITC leader known for his broad experience in engineering, technology management, organizational development. His career includes working in the bank, oil and gas sector, academia, and government agencies, giving him a well-rounded understanding of digital system and their impact on institutions. Also on our list, we have Dr. Abayomi Folani Lebude. Dr. Abayomi Folani is a business administration professional or a professor of business administration at Lagos State University, LASU, where he also served as Assistant Director in the Directorate of Linkage, Partnership and Collaboration. He earned his BSc and Masters and PhD in Business Administration from LASU, completing his doctorate in 2018, where research focused on corporate integrity and organizational power. Lastly, on the panel, we have Dr. Lukman Latubos-Emila. Dr. Latubos is a distinguished leader, expert of over 30 years experience in human resource management, communication, and treasury operation as the Director of Human Resources Administration at Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. So that's the panelist. So we dive into the conversation now. Good morning again. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, can we start? I think my first question is, we'll take to answer the different questions. For the first question, maybe 5 minutes, if we have all the time, and if there is maybe follow-up questions or clarification, maybe I can do it. So what is ethical leadership? What does it mean to you? How does it relate to your profession? You agree with me, we are living in a world where moral values that very low end, and survival becomes the order of the day. Anyhow, whether we are stealing or we are doing some unethical practices to enrich ourselves just to remain at the top. So how do we navigate doing the right thing in a world that is filled with complete breakdown of moral values?
Okay, for me, as a legal person, ethics and law are two different things. Ethics are good and bad, between good and bad. Then you're asked to choose the good over the bad. Firstly, not everyone understands what is good and what is bad, because you might assume that everyone understands good and bad, but literally not everyone understands that. Then, on the side of law and ethics are two different things. Law are rules and regulations that governs the society. But for ethics, it has to do with your nature, your nurture, who you are personally. So if you can
Sorry,
define who you
yeah,
are
we're
personally,
in front of
you
the
can
camera.
actually know if you are an ethical person or not. So that's the first thing. Who is this person? Okay, who am I? Those of you say she's hard to communicate with. It's not that. My kind of person is, if I don't have a reason to communicate with you, I stay off. That's it. No, that's not what it is. The way you understand your values are different from mine. So if we understand our values, we know how to be ethical and what is unethical. Differentiating wrongs from rights. Okay. Differentiating wrongs from rights. Some people will say, how would you take a situation where you work in an environment where the leader feels that there's a particular way he wants his job to be done, whether ethical or not, just make sure the job is done. That is his own way. It's not done that way in law. In law, there are rules and regulations that you must follow to get to that point. If you don't understand those rules and regulations, you would have made mistakes. Because, first of all, if I come to your office and I tell you, oh, I have a project that I want to do, and we have to cut corners to do this project, it's not ethical, but it's lawful. It's your project, you decide how you want to do it. But ethically, have you asked yourself, okay, this project I'm trying to do, will it favor my company? Will it affect other people? Or how does it help society? So we should be able to differentiate between law and ethics. Ethics is different from law, but the two work together. You need the law of the society to build what you have from your nature or nurture to put together to be an ethical person. Okay.
Good morning. It's always difficult when you have to speak after a woman because they are the custodian of ethics. Taking from the socialization process, you all will agree with me that the family is the first agent of socialization. This is where this and all of that. So, to a very reasonable extent, I will agree with my first assessment. But then I also want to distance myself from her position where she said, I think we all know what is right and what is wrong. The departure or the departing line, or where we draw the line, is when on your own you decide to go the right way. One, when the wrong way is cheaper, the wrong way is convenient, the wrong way is profitable. Then you now decide on your own to go the right way. That is personal conviction. That is an orientation that is built either from the home, from the school, from the churches, all the mosques as it applies. But then it is more to what I want to be.
I kept emphasizing that it's good the young people are here. So when the first discussion started, she said that she's a legal person and ethics does not do with rules. And you said everyone knows. Let me talk as a mental health person who practices angle to a large extent very subjective. Right and wrong has to do with the values of where people have been, how they have been raised, the environment they have grown in, the culture, the religion. So right and wrong is the values that in a place like to shift from the end justifies the means. The young people are going to have a shift of what right and wrong is. And talking from the mental aspect, ethical just has to do with alignment of values and behavior. And when there is a gap between values and behavior, in the mental space, to see moral exhaustion, when people come for therapy and they say, what I have been asked to do in school or at work or in the family does not align with my personal values. And that gap between what they have been asked to do or what they see happening around them. So sometimes when you see people say, I have a burnout, I'm stressed from work, it's not necessarily because of the workload that is at work. It may just be that gap between my values and the behavior of what is happening. Let me give an example. Right now in schools, I am meant to understand that there are schools that cooperate with examiners, external examiners, to come into the school and give children answers to questions. And the reason they are doing this is because the schools want their records to be impeccable, and if the records are impeccable, parents will bring the children to their school. Now, if you have a child who has been raised in right values of integrity and honesty, there is going to be what we call internal conflict. So here is this child who wants to pass the exams. However, I have not been raised to cheat. But here is the school putting pressure. We need you to pass. And oftentimes, you see such children developing what we call mental conflict, mental exhaustion, moral drain that can lead to depression. And so that is where, as a mental health person, we even find it in the workplace. We begin to see those gaps. And that's where, for me, the ethical thing comes in.
Okay, I'm a Rotarian, and I work as an engineer and an ICT engineer for that matter. So I'll be looking at the ethics in ICT, the way, because we know everybody carries a phone today, ICT is driving everywhere. So I want to see, I'll be talking about how we can ethically manage business information and others. And if I want to relate as a Rotarian, the ethics start from the 4-way test, just like PDG Johnson rightly said earlier on when we started this program. So in everything you do in technology, are you doing the right? Is it the truth? What you're doing, is it fair? Will it be good with a better friendship, and will it be beneficial to all concerned? Those are the things we look at. So ICT, ethics in business, are the guiding principles responsible for how you use information and communication in your place. Of course, today, we know that data is the currency of today. Data is the currency of today. That's why you see anything you click online, they're asking you fill this, fill that. They're not asking. Some people come online just to get information, data from you, just to build a database. Some of these people you see, they do run different business on the internet. Forget them, they're not actually doing what they say they do. They just want to get your data, to build your database, and to have enough data to sell out there. So when you, in ethics in ICT, we're looking at data protection, how your data protected. Now you see globally there's a lot of emphasis on data, but you even have an agency in Nigeria that's in charge of data protection. You're talking about cyber security. Very important. Protecting your data. Some people, when you travel, I'm not saying free Wi-Fi is not good, but be careful the kind of place you just enter and plug in your thing into. Even as a human being, it's not everywhere you enter, you plug in the thing. You need some protection, you need a lot of protection. If you're traveling abroad, please, at the airports, it's not every airport it could do you a good favor, just buy a SIM card and use the card there, because data roaming will be very expensive. So when you get there, buy the SIM card there and use data. It's safer for you because you don't know what network. You can plug your phone somewhere. Even recently, if you go to airports, there are free places where you charge free to HDR. Some of those devices, when you plug it, it can sniff your data and collect everything out of even some of your password and everything, your MasterCard IDs and everything, can take it off, and they could use it to hack your account and do a lot of things. So these are some of the ethics. You need to be careful how you use data, how you share data and all that. You're talking about digital rights and responsibilities, okay? You need to respect intellectual property. I remember those days as
and accountability, transparency. These values, these principles, how do we incorporate with today's reality as a nation? I'm sure you see recently alleged that the Attorney General, former Attorney General, helped himself in some things. Who is meant to be the chief law officer of the state and now dipping his hand in the cookie jar? Does he observe these key principles of ethical leadership? How do we inculcate this, considering the fact that I think history as a study, as a subject, is being relegated or even marked to social studies in schools? What is the role of the parent in inculcating the key principles of integrity, honesty, fairness, justice, respect, accountability, and responsibility, even at a very tender age? How do we achieve it in our current society? I think that's the next thing that I would like us to examine. We'll start with you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. In 2018, Elebunda Yoruba carried out a study on corporate integrity and operational performance, basically in the insurance industry. As a layman, people believe that God is their insurance. We wanted to examine the individual or people's perspective of the insurance industry and how they felt about corporate integrity. the moderator asked a pertinent question about the issue of corporate integrity. Integrity is actually synonymous to individual. Now bringing it to the dichotomy of corporate enterprises, simply implies that corporate enterprises must behave like individual in some terms, according to Transparency International 2009. What are the dichotomy or dimensions in which you can measure corporate integrity based on Transparency 2009? 1, based on corporate governance. 2, industry compliance regulation. 3, ethical what? Processes or issues. And 4, based on moral situation. We are able to examine insurance companies in Nigeria in 2018. Basically, they followed corporate governance ethical codes. But internally, do they follow due process to measure claim settlement to clients? The level of what reliability is quite minimal. That's to tell you subjective understanding of what people see as what insurance company not paying claims in this part of the world, well entrenched in literature based on the empirical evidence that was carried out in a particular study. Sir, it will be pertinent to understand that corporate integrity is subjective and based on some certain dimensions. These dimensions is based on some criteria that were enunciated in literature, and the most popular one that you can use to measure whether a company has corporate integrity in order to ensure the goodwill of the company is what Transparency International postulated in 2009. And also, to buttress the point of Transparency International is to look at what are the theories supporting corporate integrity or ethical behavior of business organization. When you look in literature, Donaldson and Duffy, 1999, enunciated social contract theory. We have the corporate governance theory, stakeholders theory, agency theory. We have the ethical theory that postulated the position of how companies should behave in a society. Companies are a subset of business of an environment. An environment postulated factors, forces, influences that affect the continuous existence of business organization to achieve business organization objective. So in this perspective, organizations and leaders of organizations must understand what are acceptable norms, what are standards, what are code of conduct that are entrenched in that industry for their practices in order to become an ethical leader. Some ethical leaders does not match their words with their actions. It violates what ethics in all ramifications. So for other participants, I'll rest my case to you. Thank you very much.
Okay. As an ethically responsible person, I'm still talking. I'm from the perspective of ICT. Okay, good. You need to be responsible for your actions. When you're online, you need to protect others and protect yourself. Like I said earlier, you need to respect intellectual property. How do you use intellectual property online? There was a day I made a presentation and I made a mistake. I used the old rotary wheel. As Rotarians, do we know the right rotary wheel to use? We know the current one to use. Those are the things. What is the right rotary? I see a lot of rotary materials. They paste the wrong rotary wheel on it. Some use the old one that actually. They just use it. So these are the things. As ethical people, you need to use the right intellectual property, the right trademark if you want to write anything about an organization, the right trademark of that organization, get the right trademark and use it. Okay, avoid cyberbullying very wrong. Okay, as an ethical leader, that is not the want to protect minors. It's not everything about your child you put on the. I keep telling you, if you check my Facebook page, I don't really feel it's not everywhere you are. Anything you do, you post on Facebook. Anything you do, post on Instagram and that. It is very risky. You cannot, you know, if you post where you are, maybe you travel out of the country, you're giving, the opportunity to the criminals to go to and invade your house. Yes, you're giving them, you're telling them where you are, you're telling them about you need to put on the social space. It's a global world. So even minors, it's not everything about your child they put out there. People they've kidnapped people's children based on information people post on Facebook and other social media. Okay, so again, I'm not fortunate about this IMEI number, International Mobile Equipment Identity. Do you know it could save you for every phone you carry? Because every phone has a GPS chip inside it. Whether the phone is on or off, it is there. So it can actually transmit your last location. They've used it to locate a kidnapped child before. So let the family share their IMEI number. Okay, you just like star #60#, and it will just display it. Share it. It could help in time of need. Okay, so because of time, there are so many things when it comes to ethical using ICT tools in business and workplaces. Okay, that is, we won't leave here if we talk about them. So let me just stop here. Thank you.
I'd like to repeat my question. My question is around the key principles of ethical leadership, which is integrity, honesty, fairness, justice, respect, responsibility, accountability. And my question around that is, how do we inculcate this? Vis-a-vis what is happening in our society? The breakdown of values, the breakdown of morals. You see leaders right in front of camera putting dollars in their Barbarica and all the rest of them. Children are watching. How do you tell a child that seen that or that read in the newspaper that a chief law officer of a country is being allegedly prosecuted for corrupt practices and all the rest of it? So how do we change the shift, the mindset of secondary school, primary school children and the rest of the public about the need to uphold values, these principles?
All right, thank you so much. So first of all, in a place like Nigeria, we always have this phrase that we start hearing from home: do what I say, not what I do. So when parents start by telling their children that even though I do not want you to steal, just do what I say, don't focus on what I do. So we start losing the principles. So it starts from home. And we also let our children know that it's not a Machiavellian theory that says the end justifies the means. Because what we are selling today is about survival. So there is that thing that in Nigeria we want to survive. We have seen people move from being on the mountain and they have crashed into the valley. And then fear is the major proponent that is pushing people into shifting values, making people do the things that are not right. Like that Attorney General, if you ask him now, it would be the fear of losing recognition, the fear of losing reputation, the fear of rejection. So it comes from, if I no longer have money, what will happen to me? If I don't have influence? And we see it in our everyday lives. So we are asking questions like, what are we rewarding as a society? What are we rewarding in the family? So are we rewarding fame? And that is why you go to the social media space. Everybody is a content creator. So people are showing off their naked bodies. People are sharing, oversharing private information. And the reason is, at the end of the day, I have followership, I have likes that translates into money. So nobody is actually asking for the values. So as a people, starting from the family, first of all, we should be modeling rights. So what are the values I have to model as an adult in my family, as a mother in my family, so that my children are seeing that even under pressure, this is what our mom does. So even if I am a Christian, I am not just saying to my children, I am a Christian that prays. My children can actually see that I am walking my talk. That is one. Then what do we excuse? So those questions of what are we excusing as a family, as a society? Because we cannot be talking about inculcating values. But when people do what is not okay, we excuse them. How many people in leadership have been brought to book as a result of what they have done? So the young people are looking at it and saying to themselves, if I can steal 30 billion naira and go to jail for 2 years, where I will be pampered as VIP, and then maybe 5 billion will be taken from me. After 2 years, I have 25 billion. It is more lucrative than going to do anything that is hardworking. So we cannot be teaching hard work when we are modeling short sports that bring about gains. Then lastly, how do we allow for psychological safety? And I'm talking now as a mental health person. So psychological safety is that environment we create where people can actually be themselves without the fear of being punished. So in our homes, we don't have psychological safety where a child cannot ask, Daddy, why are you telling me to tell our neighbor you are not around? He would be asked, shut up, I'm your father, you do what I say. Even in the organizations, people cannot speak up. When you do whistleblowing, they trace you and then you are punished. So there is no psychological safety. So with the fear of losing jobs in this hard economy, nobody wants to lose their livelihood. So silence now and looking the other way now becomes the order of the day. So all we are thinking of, how can I make money? Because if I have a big car and I have a big name, I can get away with anything.
You will agree that ethics is not tested when you are comfortable. When you're comfortable, ethical behaviors are not actually tested. You see some of the things you do when you are under pressure, when targets are not met, when you feel safe to keep silent than to speak up. This is when you start testing those ethical, whether moral, whether professional. I'll take it from practice. I like to refer to our mothers because they teach us a lot of things. For some of us, when we were growing up, when our mommy cooked in the kitchen, they want to test the soup to know whether salt or Maggi is adequate. If you are fortunate to be there, you will also want to try it. Then they will use the spoon, the hot spoon to. A lot of us here have experienced that. So what they are teaching us is that you don't go back to this kitchen and pick this spoon and want to try to take from the pot. That moral stays with us. That is one. Secondly, if we look at the society we have today, demography, a lot has changed in terms of generational shift. Then we will not watch TV until 4 o'clock. You will remember that rainbow line that will appear on the TV. Yes, a lot of us watch from the windows of our neighbors because our parents either have the cupboard TV that our daddy has locked, or we don't have colored one, is black and white, or we don't have TVs at all. What do we watch? Sesame Street, Doctor Who, Voltron. You will check these programs. What do they teach you? In Sesame Street, Dr. Count become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Today we are dealing with alphabet L. L is for love. L is for learning. We started getting this mentoring from these innovative programs. And more than what we learned in school, those virtues stay with us. Today, things have changed. Television is available. PS5 is available. Rather than completely detached from what is the current, it is my advice that one as parents, or as leaders of business, or as teachers, will also key in to understand that dynamics. In it, you'll find the flaws, and you'll be able to checkmate. But if you don't understand the flaws or the shortcomings therein, chances are that you may not be able to checkmate. That is one. Now, I don't like talking too much. I like to support with evidences. Look, I manage over 10,000 workforce across 22 airports. And workers don't like to come to work. Don't collect salary. On the 19th, they will start sending messages asking when the month don't read. Now, what I want to bring out from this is, I try to do staff verification. I spent a lot of money. I sent people to go to the airports. They will go and check when people come to work. And I found out that it's waste of resources. And I embraced technology. I brought in time attendants. They don't even know. And right in my office, I can check who is in the office in Yobe, who is not there at this point in time. So for you to check some of these lapses, you have to embrace technology. Find a way to checkmate them. And look, punishment. I remember coming late to school one day and they asked me to go and uproot a whole tree. Please.
Thank you. So for me, I think I'll focus more on the youths. We as adults, we are grown-ups. If we must change our society, we must start with the youths now that we can. So if we want them to learn ethics, I think we should start by taking it to the schools. Some children don't have the opportunity to discuss or even talk to their parents at home because the parents wake up at 5 a.m., go to work, and before they get back, maybe 10, 11, the kids will have gone back to bed. So if ethics is taken to the schools, we can start from there to bring up some of these children rightly because they don't have these morals from home. Thank you.
Our time is fast spent, but I want us to look at two critical subtopics, which is business practices and moral currency. Personal integrity and ethical leadership. How do you reconcile business practices, moral currencies in a world where businesses are driven for profit? Staff turnover is very high. Risk management needs to be adhered to. Sustainable growth is key. How does business survive? Even trying to do business based on moral values, positive or good moral values. Then how do we, the second question, maybe we spend a few minutes on the two questions so we round up. How do we reconcile personal integrity with ethical leadership in a world that we live currently? And when I say world that we live currently, not just in Nigeria, look at what is happening in the US. what Trump is doing, what is happening in Israel and other countries of the world, why would Trump wants to annex Greenland, for whatever reasons and all of that. So, how do you juxtapose doing your business in a very ethical manner, ensuring profit is sustained, growth is sustained, sustainability of the business, trust is built, reputation is built without compromising the core values of ethical leadership? I'll come to you first.
If I run a shop where I sell and I have to pay my staff, and at the same time I have to make profits. In all, there is the time when I will be driven to look for shortcuts. One, I will rather start by looking for how to bypass the appeal, because that is impacting on my profits. The prohibition of taxes and licenses and permits in business environment is a challenge. So it leads business leaders to take shortcuts. If we provide very conducive business environment, small-scale business don't need to go through shortcuts. Another angle is the promotion of mediocrity over merit. Once you sustain that pattern, because you have an organization and your brother is the manager, your sister-in-law is the account officer, and you allow nepotism to thrive, chances that all of these will challenge your business ethics. But then you need to bring in what? Standardizations. Standardization from certification, standardization from mandatory training, standardization from compliance. I'll leave it at that.
For me, I'll say, first of all, the kind of business you do. You need to understand your business before you bring in people to come and work with you. If you don't know how to manage, you don't expect that your staffs will be able to manage. You lead and they follow. If you do things right, they will do things right. If you're a leader that comes to work at 11 a.m., when you're supposed to resume at 9 a.m., the staffs will think it's a regular thing here. But God doesn't come on time, so maybe me too, I should come by 9 o'clock. At least before he will get there, 2 hours later, I will be there already. So if we start by ourselves to pay attention to the regulations and the rules that we create, I think those following behind us will follow through. Thank you.
Just to, I agree with what both of you have said. And when you started, you talked about the family, and maybe because I work with families. So I think the first thing is for us to be looking at compliance versus culture. So culture is more sustainable. How do we start changing the culture? It starts from home. Compliance is temporal, where let me just do the right thing now, but then the culture of shortcuts is still there. So then two is, if we look at this problem holistically, it feels very overwhelming. It almost looks like in a place like Nigeria, the world, you cited Donald Trump, like, can these things really change? But it starts, and I'm talking as a mental health person, there is something we call circle of concern and circle of influence. Circle of concern is, what are those problems in life that you do not have a direct influence on? For instance, no matter how much I do not like traffic in Lagos, I cannot do something personally, but then I can leave my house 10 minutes early. So the acceptance that the world is changing is something that even helps us mentally to know that life is changing both negatively and positively. So while we are seeing positive changes like in science, in technology, in business, we're also seeing the negative parts. So then two, then we should look at rewarding ethical integrity. So when a child comes back from school and says to the parents, others were cheating, I did not cheat, I worked hard and I had a C. The parents should not say, those ones that got an A, do they have two heads? So we have to start creating environments that make it easy for people to do the right things. If we look at it from a big picture, it looks overwhelming. But let's start with our homes. Let's start with the organizations, the churches where we lead, the teams that we lead. Let's start that way. Just make the environment so that if I want, and it means that when I say I have made a mistake, if I am going to be punished in a way that makes me lose my job, I will not say that.
Thank you very much. I like the associate prof and engineer to speak on personal integrity and ethical leadership. In 2 minutes, so we're going to question and answers. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions for you.
Okay, personal integrity and ethical leadership. Now, in today's modern business environment, we are all leaders here that are both Rotarians and non-Rotarians, you see. Before now, organizations see ICT as a call center. They see ICT as technocentric, service-centric. But today, ICT is business-centric. ICT drives your business. You can agree, you can't agree less. Everything in the world today is ICT. In fact, we've gone from the area of analytics, business intelligence to artificial intelligence now. So artificial intelligence is driving everything. Okay, you pick your phone, you want to do anything. So be that as it may, ICT is not about buying computers, buying phones and desktop for everybody, no. ICT is actually using the ICT to drive your business. Yes, moral currency. Data, like I said, is the currency of today. The data you're posting, the data you're gathering, are they correct? How many of us remember the case of Enron? Enron published, said their share value was $1, where they published $4. People rushed it, and at the end of the day, when the truth came out, what happened? It was only $1. A lot of people died. So we need to. Okay, thank you. Because of time, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll be so brief. I want to make certain comments on certain individuals. Firstly, I think one of my friends is here, intending Dr. Afolabi Babatunde. He's one of my PhD students. He's a friend and a brother, carrying out a study on government policies on organizational performance of small and medium enterprises in Lagos State, Nigeria. I also have another friend here, I think Dr. Balogun. He's a brand expert. He has carried out studies on branding, brand image, brand name, and organizational performance. When you look at the postulations in the literature, the understanding of corporate integrity is dynamic based on perspective of products, industry, and saying the right thing at the right time. Doing the right, Nigerians, our kind of mentality is to cut corners. When somebody comes up with an advert, says this particular product can cure 200 ailments, I will buy. And in the normal nomenclature, have you ever seen a product that cured 200 ailments before? Based on personal integrity. Integrity came into the balance of corporate integrity based on the misnomer of ethical business practices. These guys that I've mentioned have looked at the dynamics of how brand name. What is the measurability of your brand name? I think my brother there spoke about some of the nuances. He talked about practical illustration, but not theoretical explanation of the dimension of theories of philosophers in management. Frederick Taylor, in his perspective, talked about the scientific school of thought. When you talk about how you can actually engage people to do the best of work based on specialization, division of labor, based on the dynamics of what giving them incentive to work more. Mary Baker Follett, Margaret Dollars, talks about how you can enhance interpersonal relationship. Maslow talk about human resources management, how you can motivate people. You can also look at the postulation of contemporary management theories that has been postulated to enhance people in order to do the right thing. So when you look at the ethics behind ethical leadership, it's not about you. It's not about your perception to doing the right thing. It's not about you in conformity to what? Ethical standard. It's not about you in conformity to what? Internal control mechanism. It's not about you doing due process. The tenet is all about embracing integrity in business, which is well encapsulated in the first individual that carried out a study on corporate integrity on organizational performance in this part of the world. Is it the same person talking to you? Before me, in Africa, we can talk about AIDA in 2013. I carried out my PhD thesis in 2017. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. I really want to appreciate the discussant for their insightful, informative, educative responses to questions that we posted with each other. So I'm told that we should go into question and answer now. So that would be the audience, the case. Okay. There are so many hands. So many hands.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I am so glad I'm here today. I've learned so much. And the chairman of the committee has challenged us not to be a silent observer. So I want to quickly contribute to this conversation. The federal government is also very interested in enriching integrity, particularly in business. And for that reason, last year, they launched what is called Business Integrity Certification. So this certifies businesses who uphold integrity, who has corporate governance structure in their business, to be able to do better business. So what's the benefit of this certificate to business owners? One, it now, from June this year, begin to get them more access to funding, because banks will now begin to request from June your business integrity certification number. Again, too, for any business to do procurement or contracts with government, you must be able to provide your business integrity certificate. For investors too, if you want to invest us, if you want to be placed in the stock exchange market, if you want to attract investment, if you want to also do export, business integrity certification is now important. And the good thing is that the cost of non-compliance is heavier than the cost of compliance. So, in their wisdom, government decided to look for sponsors and partners to be able to make this certification available and affordable to business owners, particularly small business owners. And I'm happy to let you know that the group of partners, starting with the World Bank, has chosen to pay for every businesses that want to be certified between January 1 and March 30, 2026. What does that mean for you? It means that you can now have that channel to get certificated. This is promoted by the federal government through the Financial Reporting Council, an agency of government. And all you need to do is to go to their website, www.frcnigeria.gov.ng. In our own association, because we want to support businesses to be able to take advantage of this, we are bringing down the Financial Reporting Council to work businesses on how to fill the form how to get through the process and eventually get certificated for free. I would love to have this opportunity extended to Rotary District 912, at least to have minimum of 100 businesses from this district being certified for free. The workshop will be holding on February 11, as one, of course, with the chairman of the ethics committee, how we can ensure that people in Rotary, our business owners in Rotary, are also certified. My question is, after that narration, what do you think needs to do more to entrench integrity, particularly in business? That's my question.
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. The outcome of integrity is not something that can be measurable financially. There's a particular tenet in accounting principle, and also in business principle, called goodwill, which ensures sustainability and the continuous existence of business organization for a long period of time. The value cannot be estimated immediately. Any business that can be entrenched with the certification of business integrity has the opportunity of sustaining or sustenance over a long period of time. It's a welcome development by the federal government to determine whether business enterprises are actually in compliance with due process, in compliance with industry processes, in compliance with rules and regulations, because there are businesses that were established to take opportunity of the environment in which they operate. If you will understand the nomenclature of business, do you know that stealing is a form of business, but not ethically support, or morally support, or legally support? Dancing is a form of business, because business has been postulated as a process that involves all human activities, economic activities, and other related activities that engage individual or group of people in order to make what? Profit. So stealing is part of business, ayatollah is part of business, but again legal within the nomenclature of business. The postulation is that the federal government has been able to make recognition for business that are ideal within the society and acceptable to practice based on due process to be recognized for a sustainable income over a specific period of time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think I'd like to ask further questions to the last question. How does the government help us as business owners or businesses in view of the current tax act and the component of what is contained in the tax act? The ultimate objective, currently, a lot of businesses are looking for ways of cutting corners to reduce tax liabilities. So, I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say.
So we will ask that the answer to that question be brief, so that we'll be able to take on one or two other questions. Thank you.
Like I said earlier, ethics and law are two different things, but they can work together. There are some things that are right by the law, there are some things that are not right. When I said earlier that some people don't understand good from bad, what he just said now is what I actually mean. People understand that. They grew up understanding that stealing is a way of life. You can't change that. So what they understand growing up matters a lot. So if you can correct from the beginning, then you have good people, you have a better society. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Moderator, I'm not stopping you yet, but we have a question from We have a question from the head boy of King's College, and he's here with his team. King's College, could you please be on your feet? Let's recognize you. In the Interact Club of King's College, Lagos, and they are led by Mrs. Ojoma. Mrs. Ojoma, well-known face. Thank you so much. The head boy will ask, please sit down, you can sit down. The head boy will ask his question, and I'm sure it's a brief one, yes?
Good morning, everyone. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gwede Rema, the school captain of King's College, Lagos. So, of course, we're not invited here for nothing. My question goes in this form. According to one of the Rotarians that addressed us, he said Rotarians are not known for always asking what will we get, but rather they are known for constantly asking how much can we do. We also meant to know that ethics does not just apply in business and professional area. It also applies in every single area of our lives. But at the stage we currently find ourselves, we are students, so obviously we'll be asking questions based on the educational sector. So we are not Rotarians yet, emphasis on yet, but we believe that we are prospective Rotarians by the grace of God. So we would like to know what can we do to help in moving this motion of imbibing the ethical culture for the benefit of the entire Rotary community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good question. Who would want to? Okay, go ahead.
So if I get the question clearly, you said, what can there is nothing we can do. So first of all, it starts with you as an individual. So to just sit and start appraising your values, regardless of the family you come from. So if we look at values, I'm not a Rotarian yet, let me put emphasis. So if you look at the values of the Rotary that he mentioned, is this thing, is it fair? The four-way test. So that is one, do the four-way test for yourself as an individual and say, can I use this four-way test to even start checking my values? Number two, how do I even treat other people? So it starts with, first of all, what are my values regardless of the family I come from? So even if I come from a family where that four-way test does not fall in, where is this thing true? I come from a family where it is not. Is this thing fair? I come from a family where the end justifies the means, we don't care who is what. So you can start changing that for yourself, and then you can start with the little practice of the classmates that is in your class, the person that is in your school. How do you treat, like for instance, you are the head captain, you are the head boy. How do you treat the power that has been given to you as the head boy? Do you use the power responsibly, or do I use the power to bully somebody, maybe emotionally or psychologically? So it starts from you, it starts from what you do to someone else, then you can take it home. And then when you start observing what happens in your family, you can start with the shifts by asking your parents, why do we do this thing as a family? That these are the things I have learned in being an Interact, is that Interact? Yes. So these are the things I have learned from the club. I'm thinking that as a family, can we start to shift this thing? Is there a way we treat domestic workers that may not be fair, that we may start shifting? So you are young, but then you are not utterly powerless. And we live in a world right now where parents now tend to listen to their children more than it used to be, where authoritarian style of parenting was just do what I say, a one-way thing. But now you can even sit with your mom, you can ask questions, you can ask your uncles, why do you do what you do? Why do you speak to this person? Is this thing beneficial, this thing we are trying to do? You can even extend it to your teachers. Then you start pushing it with your school. You use your position as a head boy to start pushing those things. So whatever it is you want to do, just bring in that 4-week test, and I think it covers for everything.
Thank you. Well, my own worry about all of that is, with the way you answered that question, you are not likely to remain a non-Rotarian. Thank you so much for that response. We'll take one last question. I hope that's okay with some questions. One last question. Yes, you have your own special slot, sir. You have your own. Outside yours, we'll take one question from the floor. Yes? So you want to this same, to the first question. Maybe we should do that first before moving on to the next question. Please just try and make it.
Yes. Somebody asked, what do you think government need to do more to entrench integrity in business? Now, we are like, in this generation we are, I say I work with government, so I know what I stand in the right place to address this. From my own experience, I had a very big obstacle trying to automate where I work. So I will say, in order to make business ensure integrity, because when you automate, there's transparency, there's accountability, there's efficiency, there's effectiveness. You can count all the advantages you can get. They're nameless. So in one way, government can actually ensure integrity in businesses in Nigeria is to ensure all our processes and operations are automated fully. All NPA, all ministry, department of government, everywhere. If you go abroad, that is how it is. So they should ensure all our agencies and departments of government are properly automated. In doing such, you will achieve integrity and higher ethical standard in business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Marco. We will take one last question. Before we do that, I want to recognize the presence. He has spoken and has addressed us, but I would like to recognize the District Interact representative, Interactor at Ju Abdul Basit. He's here with us, yes, from the Dolphin Senior High School. And he's not here alone, he's here with his schoolmates. Could you please just rise and take a bow? Thank you so much. And I think that before we wrap up this segment, I'll just quickly sneak in another recognition, sir. Mr. Moderator, please forgive me. Yes, with apologies because it's taken quite a while to recognize this very important personality within our midst. We have never taken for granted. I'd like to call his PAG Ezechi, Tunde Ezechi, Rotary Club of Lagos. He is the chairperson or chairman of the District Vocational Service. You're welcome, sir. He has been a pillar of support to this entire effort. Thank you so much, sir. So we will take one question, yes, to wrap up this segment.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fatima Hassan. I just concluded a course with the Institute of Economic for Peace, for Economic and Peace, and I've been satisfied as a global peace ambassador. So I have this question to the Mrs. Chidima, the mental health practitioner. I had to jot down my question. So when I was taking my course, I understood that one of the foundations for a community to strive is integrity. So, but I also see that this is not just the absence of conflict, but it's the presence of integrity. And in systems and in people, in environments where unethical behavior has become normalized, and those who choose integrity are being pressurized or being castigated. That's when they will tell you, you're all too much, I too know, wasabi and the likes of it. How can individuals uphold ethical standards in a way that sustains inner peace without becoming bitter, isolated, or being conflicted? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fatima.
Okay, so when I started, I talked about the gap between values and behavior. And that gap is what creates stress, it what creates tension, and what is called moral exhaustion. If I sit here and say to you, oh, it's easy peasy, just stand and say what is right, that is not practical. In a place where there is pressure, you know how they say, if you can't beat them, join them. You may join them on the outside, but then there is that internal conflict. I have seen people in therapy who the major reason for depression for them is this internal conflict. Working in a place where I am seeing things that my bosses are doing, I am seeing sexual harassment, I am seeing bullying, but I am supposed to look the other way. I'm even seeing fraud, but then what do I do? So I think first of all, the first thing first is for the person to understand that this is problematic in the sense that the culture has shifted where I am. Then two, is it possible to find like minds who share your values? It is important to have like minds, because no matter how a place has become bad, there are still pockets full. Just permit me to use the story in the Bible and the Christian. There was a time when Elijah felt so depressed because of the prophet of Baal, and he had just done a miracle by asking God to send fire. The Bible tells us that he ran away from Jezebel, and he was very despondent and what I would call right now depressed, and he felt he was alone. But God reminded him and said, there are 7,000 prophets who have not bowed to Baal. So what does it say? That no matter how despondent you may find yourself in an environment where ethical integrity is questioned, there are still people that still uphold what integrity is. So it's to find them. You may be in the minority, but what it does for you at the time is when you sit together and exchange your frustrations, it gives you what you call mental resilience. And you don't think you can take off the world at a go. It is just one step at a time. You may not be the singular person, your organization may not be the singular organization that will change the world, but in that little space where you find yourself, if you are dealing with a child, in that space with children, even if it is one child at a time, one family at a time, what it does for you is it gives you mental resilience, mental strength, and just standing up to what you believe, even in the face of chaos.
Thank you very much. So yes, I had said that would be the last question.
Associate Prof wants to add a few words.
A few words, yes.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I think the psychologists have actually said it all. But as an academic, just to process our point, to add to what she has said. You see, it depends on the level of conflict. I'm an organizational behaviorist. Personally, conflict has what stages. And the way we see conflict differs from individual to other. In such circumstances, the level of the conflict will determine the kind of approach you will deploy. Conflict is not a misnomer in an organization, but is a plus to ensure positive organizational outcome. The moment we have two or more people with diverse orientation, there are tendency to do what? Conflicts. Because our perception or perspective to issues differs. In this particular our discussion over time on some certain issues, our audience has some resentment on how they receive our perception about it. It breeds conflict. Now, as an expert, as a psychologist, she will now say, okay, the extent at which you've seen the problem, she will now deploy the strategy that she has put forward in order to put the conflict into rest. Conflict is not a misnomer, but a plus to achieve organizational outcome based on dialogue and continuous discussion. Thank you.
That indeed was very deep. And you know, the thing is that the passion with which you've attacked that question, it gives me a little bit of reluctance to call one more person. Because this last person I'm going to call now is also somebody who only gives a few words. It's just that he extends his few words into stories. Mr. Bachelor, I'll come to you, sir, because I have a special introduction to make of you. You cannot be in this hall and not be recognized properly. So I'm coming to you specially. In fact, I'll come and stand next to you to introduce you. But first, I have somebody who wants to make a few words. If you know A.G. Isichei Osangi, you know that he's a man of few words. He has said that he wants to say a few words. We will beg him not to start with proverbs or adages and just go straight to the point. 5 seconds.
My DG, my PDGs. I will disappoint Johnson today. Mine is just, if you like, if it was the parliament to move a motion. But this one is just to establish the very fact that you don't need to convince anybody who is a Rotarian about the beauty of what we are doing today. I've been a past chairman of this same committee, and the same standard and impact I'm seeing come today. So we are fine. But how do we take it to the larger society? So I'm craving the indulgence of Rotary, the general, and the panelists to help. I have an example where I used to work in a multinational oil company. Maximum thing you can collect as a gift is 5,000 naira. If you exceed that, you are in trouble. Nobody is chasing you. Every three or twice a year, they will pop up something on the computer. I ask you to take exam. Have you collected so and so from Isichei Osangi? You answer no. Have you done this illegally? You answer no. Your conscience alone, even if it's just ticking yes and no, if you go out every day, you keep reminding yourself that you need to conform. So my submission, my DG and panelists is, can, after this engagement, whatever the communique is, let's include the way forward to help the Nigerian society to move forward. Thank you very much.
So just a few words from A.G. Isichei Osangi. I don't know who wants to react to that. I see it more like a comment, you know, than a question. Because because we have an obvious answer to that. We should keep doing what we're doing. And try and think out of the box, outside the box, like they say, you know, and to be able to move things forward. So, we've had a big fish in the house for a few minutes, and he couldn't wait to be introduced before expressing himself. As a result of that, we don't even need his profile to introduce him. He has demonstrated the pedigree that he evolves from. I would want you all to please properly welcome, and he's one of our awardees for today. He is the national president of ASBON, ASBON, Dr. Femi Egbeshola. Dr. Femi Egbeshola, please the upstanding, take a bow. Your contributions, even as much as we had it just for a few minutes, was so deep. And I found everyone listening so attentively to you because the comments that you made are on issues that make Nigeria and Nigerians today. Those are the questions, those you give answers to questions that a lot of Nigerians are asking. So we would rather that you did it from the side of being a Rotarian. You know, I don't see a Rotary bag, a Rotary pin on you, but I'm happy that you're sitting next to the district governor. And I know that he has a passion for making people join Rotary when they display so much. So thank you so much for coming. You will stay with us a little longer. We'll give you your award. At that time, we will try to read the edited version of the edited version of the edited version of your profile, which you sent me, and then we'll do the award. Please, another round of applause for Dr. Egbeshola. Thank you so much. Mr. Moderator, my apologies. I took the microphone from you. The segment is still yours, but please, okay. So before I hand it back to you, and I'll credit you with the time that I've taken off. Dr. Egbeshola, please.
Please pardon me once more. The purpose of which we are here is to learn and share knowledge. And I want to appreciate the response of my colleague over there that spoke on what government can do. And recommended that government should digitalize all platforms for payments. I want to also inform you that that was done June last year on a pilot phase. Then starting from January this year, the federal government launched a platform known as National Single Window. So the National Single Window is a platform where you now pay all government fees and charges, whether it is certification, it is approvals, it is tariffs, and whatever it is. And you can do it in the comfort of your home. You don't need a consultant, you don't need a partner, you don't need anything. And within seconds, that will be done. And it has come to improve government operations and business operations too, in such a way that certification that will have taken 30 days, 60 days, is now within 7 days. Port cargoes, freight, and all port issues that takes 30 days, 60 days, is now maximum of 21 days. And that's what automation can do. So I also want to say that I have already inducted as an honorary Rotarian. I did not come with my badge today. Apologies for that. Thank you very much.
So, honorary Rotarian, Femi Egbeshola, all we need from you now is to be more active. Let us see you. Let us see you more often, because we have a lot to learn from you. And please, for your information, if you need to get to Dr. Egbeshola, please come through me. I just appointed myself his personal assistant, and I should be able to handle all of your questions. Thank you so much, sir. So, my moderator, thank you so much. Can I give you like 5 minutes? Or do you want less than that? 5 minutes, and let's
I think we are done.
Okay, we're done.
More questions, and you said the last question was asked by the lady.
Yeah, well, you have the floor.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you, the panelists. It's nice working with you.
And I think you should ask for a round of applause for your panelists. It'd be awesome. They've been awesome. They've been awesome. Well done. Thank you so much. We'll just carry out a little exercise. Out of the panelists that we have here, how many of you are Rotarians? Could you raise your hand up if you're a Rotarian? We have 3. We have 3 out of 6. So what happens to the others? My DG at the right side.